Hey everyone, welcome back to Old Eagle Garage. Today we're going to see if we can get a little bit of shine back in the paint of this old truck. And maybe take you on a tour of the interior, let you know what we've done up to this point, and maybe some stuff that I'd like to do in the future. Let's get started. All right, so I'm not going to be using a buffing compound or even a buffer today. There's not much paint left on this old truck, and so I don't want to burn through it. I want to kind of preserve what we have left. So I'm just going to use a wax, and I'm just going to use this Mother's Carnauba wax that I already have. I've had pretty good luck with it in the past. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to work in a really small area with an applicator pad. And when I say small, I mean like a really small area at a time. And then just buff it off with a clean microfiber towel. And we'll see what that does. If that doesn't bring any shine out of it by doing that, then I may go to hand buffing with a buffing compound, but I want to try to avoid that if I can. The buffing compound is obviously more abrasive. So I'm just wanting to kind of, whatever's there, preserve it, bring it out, some luster if I can. If not, it's not the end of the world. This is definitely not a show truck or anything like that. I just like to bring this, the blue color of the pickup out just a little bit. And so let's get started. Let's get to work. Well, let's see if I can zoom in here, kind of get a look at this paint and what we're dealing with. It's in really poor condition, and there's not much there. But we're going to give it a shot anyway. And it's not that I don't like the way the truck looks. I do. But originally this paint had a metallic look in it. And if I could get that back, I'd really like to do that. So let's get started on it. As we work, I'll stop periodically, see if we can show the progress, because I don't know how well it's picking up at this angle, but I'm going to start right up here, and we'll see what we can accomplish. Like I said, I'm just going to work in really small areas here. We'll see what we can get. What I'm trying to do, if anybody's ever shined like combat boots or something like that, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Eventually you'll get to where you feel the wax build up and start to adhere to the leather. Well, I'm kind of wanting to see if I can replicate that to this paint, and with really small circles, just like you're shining a pair of boots. We'll see what we can get. Maybe getting a little bit of that right now. Let's see if we've gotten anywhere here. Buff that residual wax off. Let's see. I don't know. It doesn't really look like it's done a whole lot. Maybe a little. I'll get you in here close here in just a second if it looks like it did anything. And it may take a couple coats and a lot of elbow grease. So this paint is in really bad shape. let's see here. Maybe a little bit. I'll get you in here a little bit closer. You can see for yourself. Okay, you can see I did just this area up here, just the corner of this fender. And in person, it kind of makes a little bit of a difference. On camera, I don't know. And I've also got some LED lighting behind me here that I don't know if that's helping or hurting, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bigger section here, and maybe this whole front of this fender, and then we'll kind of see what this looks like and maybe have a comparison once I do just a little bit bigger of an area, so we can kind of look at it. So I may have to shut this LED lighting off behind me. I just don't know how well that's going to do, but we'll take a look here in just a second. All right, let's just continue down this fender just a little bit. Again, small areas at a time. Working the wax into the paint. And even waxing, you can remove a little bit. It will remove a little bit of that. Not like buffing does, of course. So, since I'm still moving this wax around on here, it is looking different. But I don't know what it'll look like once I remove the residual from it. Let's go ahead and see. Let's buff this off here and see what we got. Well, to me, I don't know if that's coming across at all, but that does make a little bit of a difference. Right through here, it's a little richer of a color than what it used to be. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. And I'll try to get you in close here in a second. You could probably do this with any kind of wax that you have. I just had this. Don't have a whole lot left, but enough to do this. And I've had good luck with it in the past for restoring some old faded paint. Now again, it's just wax. It's not gonna permanently fix your car or anything like that, but if you have something like what this truck is, or it's a patina truck, I'm never going to restore this truck or paint it or anything like that. The body's just in too poor condition. It would need a significant amount of work, more work than it's worth, to get the body ready to paint. So I'm not going to invest that kind of time and money into this truck. If I wanted a shiny truck, I guess you could say, I would have started with one that's got better metal on it than this one. But this one is what I was looking for at the time, a patina truck. And I know not everybody likes patina trucks. They like shiny. Some people like shiny trucks, some people don't, but that's fine. Car community is diverse and there's room for everybody in it, so it doesn't matter what you like. All right, let's see here. And you can see, I guess that's coming across on camera. You can see the blue just from waxing the truck. It's coming off. Just waxing. So you imagine if I used a buffing compound, it would take a lot of this paint off, and I really don't want to do that. See, I almost forgot my rule. I started up here to start working on a bigger spot, but that's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to really focus on little circles, a small area. The good thing about this wax too is it's like some other higher quality waxes. You get it on your trim or something, you just wipe it right off. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. I don't know if you can hear the road noise here behind me, but sometimes we have some trucks and stuff going by. There you can see some more of the blue paint coming off where it's oxidized, and just removing it. So that pretty much tells me there I'm not going to use a buffing compound on this. It's just it would probably just power right through all the way down to the primer. We can see the primer showing right here anyway. So the hood has, other than just a little bit up in the front, it has no paint left on it at all. Just a couple little spots you can see some blue peeking through. But the sides still have some left, so that's what I'm trying to preserve. I've tried like patina sauce on this truck. I like the way it looked. It made it kind of a deeper, richer color. And I like that it keeps it from rusting any more than it already is. But it did wear off, and I haven't put another coat on it this year because I wanted to try putting a coat of wax on it just to see what I could do. Now, I'm not saying I would never try patina sauce again. I probably would. Who knows, I may even try a clear coat on it at some point, but and I don't know how people feel about that too. There's like, you shouldn't clear coat over your patina. Some people don't like that, but again, it doesn't matter what everyone likes. It matters what you like. So don't worry about that kind of stuff. Let's see if that's pretty heavily oxidized down through there, so I bet it's going to lift a lot of that off. Not a lot, but it did pull a little bit of that off. All right, I'm going to continue down to the bottom of the fender here, because if I don't do it right now, I'm that guy, I'll forget. And then later when I'm looking at the truck, I'll realize I didn't get to the bottom of the fender. Just do this small area here. I'm just buffing as I go. I don't want to leave the residual wax on there. I mean, I guess that goes without saying. You don't ever not buff the wax, residual wax off the car. And also, I know I didn't say anything about this. You want a fairly clean surface to start here. You don't want to be grinding surface dirt into your paint. Now this truck, it probably doesn't matter one way or the other because it's in such bad shape. But if you have one where the paint is still pretty good and you're just wanting to take just a little bit of extra care, then definitely wash the vehicle really, really well before you do this, especially because you're going to really be working that wax into the paint, and you just don't want to grind dirt into it if you can avoid it. One thing that helps about the bottom of this truck is it's lowered, so unless people get down on the ground and really look at it, you're not going to know if you missed the bottom or not. You'll know. So if you're particular like that, do yourself a favor and just get it done now. So I'm going to do I'm going to make like a line right here, and maybe we can see. I'm just going to start right here and make sure all of this is done first. A small area, and that should have overlapped a little bit into what I've already done. So we should be okay there. I think I'm going to go ahead and get, that's just primer up here. But I'm going to go ahead and work that in too. Why not, right? You can see, I don't know if this comes up on camera, you can see a drip here from something. I don't know what that is, but I tried to get that off of the truck after I bought it, and it's on there. I tried using acetone, and it will not come off. I don't know what was dripped on this truck, if it's set somewhere and that happened. I'm not real sure. All right, I'm going to get you in here a little bit closer. So right here is the line, waxed, unwaxed. And I said I don't know how well that's coming across. Let me shut one of these lights off. Yeah, that didn't. Well, I don't know. Okay, that maybe helped you just a little bit. I can, a little bit on camera, see the difference over here as opposed to right here. And in person, it's a big difference. Let me shut, I've got two lights on. Let me shut them both off. So, of course, it is going to be darker in this part of the garage because the garage door is over here. So it's going to be casting light, so it will look a little different. But you can see that line right there. So I think we've done something here with the paint. Oh, I think until the whole truck is done, it's going to be really difficult to see. You know, I think we would do a side-by-side before and after comparison. Probably help a little bit. But well, I'm going to get working here. And so you're going to see me work kind of fast. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. And if I come across something interesting, I'll slow it down and I'll bring you in close and show you. All right, so you can see that we've done something here. You can see the line here where, I don't know, you can see the waxing, and the paint even feels different. I run my finger across it. It's a lot smoother here than it is here, but I don't think I'm going to get any luster or metallic to come out. I mean, just in probably some very isolated spots on this paint will that happen. But I am removing some oxidation, which is nice, and that's will make the paint a little more rich. But I don't think we're going to get much of a shine out of it. But we're going to keep going here. Again, you're going to see me work real fast, but if I come across anything else or anything interesting, I'll stop and let you know. All right, guys, I'm going to keep going here. Not going to torture you guys, making you watch me do the whole passenger side of this vehicle. You got to see me do half the driver's side. So when I'm done, we'll get it out in the sun. We'll do a before and after comparison, and we'll see if we did any good. All right, well, you see the before and after pictures there. Not a great deal of difference. Even if you get up real close, there's not a lot of difference. I don't regret doing it. A couple hours worth of work, and any day getting to come out and spend a little bit of time working on your old truck's a good day. So I'm not disappointed, but I think that pretty much answers my question. There's not much luster left in this old paint, and that's fine. It's a patina truck. I enjoy driving it. I don't really care that much about the paint on it anyway. I just wanted to see if a little bit of elbow grease would get it to come around. And it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I mean, it's not high-end, guys. I've got self-tappers holding the trim on. So if you want to spend a couple hours waxing your old rusty truck and get about 0.1% better, I highly recommend it. No, seriously, I don't, it doesn't bother me. It was worth a shot. I enjoyed coming out here and doing it. What I do want to do now, though, is go over the interior of this truck a little bit. Some stuff I've done up to this point, and I don't know, maybe get some ideas from you in the future about where I could go with it. Obviously, the exterior is what it is. It's a patina truck, but the interior I could still, probably has a little bit more room for improvement. And then I think I'm going to take a cruise around West Kentucky countryside here with my dog Norman. So if you guys want to stay tuned in for that, please do so. So let's get a close look at the interior. All right, we'll talk about the seat and the headliner first. They're matching, of course. Now, they were done before I got the truck, so I don't know what company refinished it. I don't know anything about it, but I do like it a lot. I don't know if I would have personally picked these colors, but I do like it, and it's going to stay. And the headliner matches, of course, and it's in pretty good shape, so it'll stay. One thing I did after I first got it was it had a replacement dash pad on it when I got it, but it was black and it was in really, really bad shape. It was damaged, I'm only guessing from the sun. It didn't go with the truck at all, and so that was one of the first things I wanted to do was replace it. And so I went with Coverlay. I like the quality of the product. It was easy to put on. They send the adhesive with it. They have a lot of different colors. You can get it in just black. They all are black, and they paint them there and then ship them to you. Also, the door panels I got from Coverlay. Again, good quality door panel. They go on pretty easy. You can get them in any configuration that you want. So if you have door speakers, they will come already cut out if you want to order them that way. Now, this truck did have door speakers in it. They were not functioning. And I wanted a kind of a clean interior, so I went with no cutouts for the speakers. And of course, I did the passenger side too. They do come as a set when you buy those. One thing, and I'm gonna have a seat here. One thing that, an issue that I had with Coverlay, and I'm not gonna harp on it too much because I do think it's a quality product, and I would absolutely buy Coverlay product again in the future. It came and it had right here in this corner, it had an imperfection in the paint. You could see the black plastic underneath, and but it wasn't real bad. I wasn't upset about it or anything. I really thought that once I contact them, they'll probably make it right and send out some touch-up paint or something for it. So I reached out to them, and they wanted to see it, so I took a picture of it, emailed it to them, and they said that I could buy the paint and pay for the shipping, but that they wouldn't just send it out to me to fix it. I thought, I don't know, I wasn't real happy about that. It wasn't, I didn't do that damage, it was sent like that. But it wasn't a whole lot of money. I think it's under 20 bucks to have it sent out, but I think that was kind of beside the point. They said that had I bought it directly from Coverlay and not gone through carparts.com, they would have sent me the paint. So I'm like, well, what's it matter? That's an approved vendor of theirs that sold it. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. I didn't like that, but I will say they get very high marks for the quality of their product and how easy it is to install. You know, like especially with door panels and stuff, you know, all the screw holes match up. I mean, you don't have to do any modifications with their product. So overall, I'm happy with that. Let's go kind of talk a little bit about, I think you can see those okay. These GM stamped floor mats. They're Brother brand, sold at Holly, and they are really heavy duty floor mats. They're not flimsy. They stay in place. They don't move around. I really like them a lot. Really added something to the truck. Before it just had some generic floor mats in it, but I really like the GM printed mat to go back in here. And you can see the carpet in here. It's not, definitely, it's far from perfect. But I used a dye that I bought from Holly too, and I believe it was also Brother brand. And I was able to pretty much just like spray the inside of the truck. And so what I did is I just kind of went through and masked off a little bit of stuff that I didn't want a lot of overspray on. But it went down really easy. This took, to go over the entire carpet in here, it took 1 can and then maybe just a little bit out of another can, and I still got some left over. But it went on really well. The carpet still feels like carpet too. It's not sticky or there's no residue left behind. It dried really well. So I was impressed with that, and I definitely recommend that brand from Holly if you want to dye it. When I got this truck, the carpet was severely faded. It almost looked tan when I got it, and so that dye brought it around because I was getting ready to tear the interior out and put a new carpet in. I'm glad I didn't do that. I was able to salvage what I had. Another thing that I did to this truck was added a center console. This one here was from ProFitInteriors.com, and fits on the seat really well. You can see it's indexed almost perfect for these bench seats. It's got a little compartment, here that flips all the way up. Pretty good sized compartment. You could put a lot of stuff in there. And then it's also got the bigger cup holders. They'll fit a coffee cup, any kind of like foam drink cup from a gas station or something. It's also got a strap that goes underneath the seat and goes back up and clips and attaches. I was able to get that pretty good cinched down. It'll still move a little side to side, but if you slam on the brakes, it's not going to go forward and slide into the floor. That's some other designs that don't have that. You have to find a way, around that. Or if you have a center seat belt, you're gonna have to buckle it in somehow. I didn't really want to do all that, so I was able to find this one there. They make them to order. They don't have it in stock. So If that's a problem, you may have to go with another company, but I'm thinking this was about 4 to 6 weeks from when I ordered it to when I actually got it. Worth the wait, a very high quality product. I don't care at all that I had to wait on it. I got, exactly what I wanted, but just had to wait a little bit. I'm fine with that. The instrument cluster in this is, just like what you'd see in any other stock pickup. It's not been upgraded at all. This is exactly what came out of the factory. This truck actually has a factory CB AM FM combo. So it's set on FM right now and set on radio, but you can move this slider over to CB and it changes it over to CB. And then this is the actual CB radio, goes up underneath the dash, connects to the back of the radio itself. It does not work right now. So anybody has any suggestions on who to send this radio to maybe get it working again? I'd really love to keep it. I know, Bluetooth radio, that's the way to go nowadays. And I'd love to have a Bluetooth radio in here, but I don't want to get rid of this radio. I've owned a couple square body pickups. I've never seen this radio before, stock in a truck. So, and I don't know if that was the Royal Sierra part of the trim package, that all of them came with this CB, or if this was something whoever ordered this truck, made that a specific order. I have no idea. Pretty cool though. I mean, I like having the CB hanging there. I think it looks cool. I get some questions about it every now and then, but yeah, if anybody's got a suggestion or a recommendation on who to send this radio to get it repaired, I would greatly appreciate that. So this truck here came with, you can kind of see the stock gauges. It's got the, pretty much everything else these trucks have, but it's got the clock in it. Clock does not work, of course. I've never owned a square body where the clock worked in it. Fuel gauge doesn't work right now. I just keep up with the mileage. I'm not real concerned about that. I'm tell you the truth. I don't want to drop the tank. That's a pain. I'm just avoiding it. I have a new sending unit. I just haven't done it yet because I don't want to. Maybe one of these days, and maybe I'll do a video on it when I finally work up the motivation to change that out. But other than that, speedometer works, odometer works, things like that. So I'm not real worried about the fuel gauge. I just keep up the mileage. And that's about it. What suggestions do you all have? I want to keep factory looking gauges. I don't want digital gauges or anything like that. But I would upgrade them maybe to something else if somebody had a good suggestion, a good factory looking suggestion. Other than that, I'm not looking at doing a whole lot in here. I just wanted it comfortable. Didn't want it, super high end. It would kind of look funny, I think, if you had a whole lot of real high end stuff or digital gauges in this truck. You look at the outside of it, you're like, what? That doesn't make sense. But I'm open to some suggestions on what to do in the interior in the future. Kind of go over the seals and stuff that I use in this truck to seal it up, and then I'll probably go grab my dog and we'll take a little cruise here. So I went through, of course I replaced all the window felt and everything in it. When I replaced the door panels, it was in really poor condition, as you can imagine, which it would probably never been replaced. So that's just the way it is in these old trucks. You're probably going to have to do that. I replaced the weather stripping all the way around. Very easy job, guys. Very self-explanatory. Take the old one off, new one goes right back in its place. You may have to do a little cleanup and stuff around the kick panels, to make sure it seats in there real well. This truck does have some rust along that rail, along that pinch weld, and not bad enough for me to have to address, but it was something I had to clean up a little bit to get it back in there. One thing is, you're going to notice when you put these new seals back in, even when they're installed correctly, the doors are not going to close real great for a while until they get kind of set to the way the door closes. I would suggest changing these when it's summertime and warm, and let the truck sit outside and get really good and warm with the doors closed, and it'll kind of seat that seal a little bit to the door. Otherwise, everybody knows you have to slam a square body door a dozen times anyway, but it's really bad when these seals are brand new. They just don't want to close. You have to really slam the door. But I've noticed through the summer that has gotten increasingly better, and I think it's just because the truck was able to sit warm and break that seal in to the door. So I don't know. If anybody else has another suggestion on that, or about something else that's better, or a better way to get that seal seated, please let me know. I'd love to hear it, and I'll pass it along. I replaced the vent windows in both sides. The passenger side was broken, and I'll get it here in a second and show you where it was broken at. The driver's side was not broken, but I went ahead and replaced it anyway because I was going to have to go ahead and replace all the doors, all the seals in it anyway, and you've got to take the vent window apart to do that no matter what. That was not a fun job. I wish I would have filmed it. Looking back on it now, I wasn't doing YouTube at the time when I did that, but that was not fun. Especially in an old truck like this that it's far from perfect, and parts are rusted, and it was a very time-consuming process. Now, maybe if you've got a much better truck, square body, not as rusted, you probably wouldn't have as tough a time as I did replacing those vent windows. But here, I'll get the broken vent window and show you what I was talking about why I went ahead and replaced both of them. Here's the old vent windows that came out of the truck. Just glancing at them, they don't look too bad. You can see that the weather stripping was in really bad shape. That was going to have to be repaired no matter what. But this one, the passenger side window, you can see here, maybe I can hold this camera and do it at the same time. It's broken at the bottom completely. So I would have had to have maybe went to a junkyard, pulled one out of another truck, and then replaced the seals and everything in it. So instead of doing that, I went with just a whole new vent window assembly for both sides. And I bought these windows, the whole assembly. It comes seals, everything assembled. All you do is put it in there and screw it in. I bought it from OCAutocarpets.com. I don't remember exactly what they cost. They were not cheap, but to me they were worth it. I wanted a really nice sealed up vent window, and I use the vent windows occasionally. It's the hillbilly air conditioning. The AC doesn't work in this truck, so it's nice on a hot day. I can flip these vent windows around and get a lot of air. So very good, well-made product from them. They, like I said, the truck itself made taking the old ones out and the installation difficult, but it wasn't because of the manufacturing process of these vent windows. They were very, very well made. So what I'll do is I'll drop a link down in the description of all the stuff that I purchased for the interior, and that way if you want to go check them out on their website, you can do so. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. Appreciate you being here, appreciate you watching. If you like what you saw, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it. I'd really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. And look around the channel a little bit. There's probably some other videos that you might like. So I really appreciate that. If you want to stick around a little bit longer, me and Norman's going to take a little cruise here. He's pretty funny, pretty cute, so a lot of people seem to like him. So we're gonna take a ride around the West Kentucky countryside a little bit. But other than that, guys, we'll see you in the next one. And I appreciate you.